What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I hope everyone is having had a great day. It is 6 o'clock now, so I know everybody's kind of tired. I don't know if it's just me, but like lately I just been so exhausted, so tired. I don't know why, but I feel like it's this whole Mercury retrograde solar eclipse thing all happening at one time. It's like draining everybody, but I hope everyone had a great Easter weekend. Mine was good. I hung out with my family yesterday. We went to dinner at my mom's favorite restaurant. It's called the Chart House. It's in Weehawken, New Jersey. It's really good. It's really nice, beautiful scenery. I've been there multiple times. The food, amazing. I think they changed the chef because the last time that I had went, like years ago, I didn't like the food I got, but it's definitely different now. So I think they changed the whole chef and everything, but nonetheless, it was cool. It was good. And why I sound like this, is because of Friday night. It was my friend Amanda's birthday, and her birthday was Saturday, but we went out Friday night for our birthday. We went to dinner, and then we went to like a nice little lounge or whatever, Made in Mexico in Dykeman, and I lost my voice, but I really think it had more so to do with the hookah. I really think I'm putting that down for some time, or probably forever now. I don't do hookah often anymore as it is. I used to have like a whole hookah set in my house, but for whatever reason it broke somehow. I don't know what happened, but nonetheless, I sound rather congested, but I'm not congested. It just feels like well, maybe I am congested. I don't know. My voice just sounds like this. I'm not sure. It's like in and out. One moment I sound regular, the next moment I sound fine. So I'm just taking regular cough syrup because I do have like a little cough, and some elderberry, something, I don't know what it's called, but something with elderberry and zinc in it to help me. But I hope everybody had a great weekend nonetheless, and I hope everyone stayed safe. I hope everyone was around their family and just enjoyed themselves and didn't, overdo it. And shout out to everybody who was on the last podcast. If you guys didn't hear episode 16, go listen to episode 16. That was it was hilarious, but it was fun too to do my second roundtable. This one wasn't video, I just did audio, but I had a lot of fun. Shout out to who was on? Erica was on there. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Tati. Shout out to Pernell, Mr. Walker, and everybody else who was listening. Thank you guys for doing some good numbers. There was a lot of people that was on, but it just didn't pop up where I could see it, but there was a lot of people listening, and people listening afterwards. So I'm grateful, and I thank you guys again for participating and also listening as well for those who didn't participate. And if you guys ever want to be on a roundtable, please let me know. If there's anything that you want to talk about, I'm open to it. I love that, to have like an open podcast, to be able to speak about whatever and however you're feeling. That's what I definitely I obviously have my own things that I want to speak on, but it's also open to you as well, whatever you would like to hear. So involving you guys in this next episode, I asked, what did you guys want to talk about for this one? And a lot of you said taking an inventory of your life, taking a lifestyle inventory. And that is what this episode is about. So I must admit that when I was thinking of this topic, I was kind of like, am I going to be repeating myself about like what you need to let go of, or other things I may have said in earlier episodes? But it's really just me assessing and really having to find out exactly what taking a lifestyle inventory really meant. And when you take a lifestyle inventory, you're hitting all points. You're not just going from one specific area in your life. You are, as it said in the phrase lifestyle, your entire lifestyle, whatever you do from morning to night, the habits that you have, the habits that you want to create, and just changing and altering how you move and how you do things within your circle and within your life. So when you think of lifestyle inventory, you can think of all of those aspects. But I also did like a little bit of research, because I always do. I always bring receipts before I say and talk about anything, because you don't want to sound dumb when you're speaking. So the lifestyle inventory, which is called the LSI, it was actually developed by Dr. J. Clayton Lafferty. I think I'm saying his last name right, where he basically put together it's like a what is it, a wheel, sort of like you guys remember the wheels back in the day, like a color wheel, like if you had art class, those color wheel type things. So it measures 12 specific styles or patterns of thinking that can either contribute to or detach from your personality effectiveness. The 12 styles measured by the LSI are organized into 3 clusters, which I kind of made sense when I thought about it. I thought it was actually going to be way more different categories, but his first category, he said, was constructive. The second was passive and defensive, and the third is aggressive and defensive. So with the first cluster being constructive, it includes your achievements, self-actualizing, encouragement, and afflictive thinking styles. With the passive and defensive, it includes approval. So I guess from approval from everybody else, being dependent and avoidance. And the third one being aggressive and defensive, it includes power, competitiveness, and perfectionism, which we all have all 3 of these. And at some point there's some area within ourselves that we display these characteristics, or we look for, I guess that's the inventory of how we take in things in our life, which was actually kind of interesting. But I'll talk about that later. So let's get into it. Taking an inventory, a lifestyle inventory. So what is taking a personal inventory or a lifestyle inventory? Basically means reflecting inwardly and taking stock of what makes you you. It also means taking a look at who you keep around, like your circle, your associates, who you really have conversations with day to day, and what do you do in your spare time. It may sound like a lot, but when you really sit back and think about it, like I had to think about it, for myself, of what your time consumes of, does that sound right? What your time consumes of. Yeah, it does. I don't know. You know how sometimes you say certain things and it's like, does that even make sense? But it does. You should have I call it like a oh shit moment, or like, some people call it a aha moment, and wanting to start a change, and understanding too that changes happen gradually. Changing doesn't happen in a split of a second. It doesn't happen when, the moment we make the decision that we want to change how we see our lives or what we want to do. It literally changes over time. And I mean, I guess you can kind of blame the era that we're in now of instant gratification and wanting what we want at the exact moment of when we want it. And if we don't get it, we feel like we're useless. But change takes time. Like, I'm not the same person who I was last year. I'm not the same person who I was in December. These last 4 months, because it is April 1st, these last 4 months have been like a constant reminder for me, at least, of how far I'm much I've changed, and how much I'm growing, and how far I've come. And it's still a long journey. It's still going to take some time. And I feel like a lot of us in our early 30s, because majority of my friends are in their early 30s, even some who are in their late 20s about to be 30, they're starting to feel like this sense of wanting to change their lifestyle and really take into consideration what it is that they're doing, who they're spending their time with. And I can't even say it's just like my generation. I can't even say that's just the people who are in their early 30s. I find, and I've seen a lot of younger people who are like in their like early 20s, like 21, 22, starting to really see people for like who they are, but also seeing how they contribute to situations and how they act in certain situations as well, and wanting to change that and not wanting to do the same things all over again, which is actually kind of good, because I mean, it's a balance. It's a not a balance, but I guess it's like a, what is it called, a seesaw between, like, you have time, but then we don't have time, because timing is very precious and we never know when our time is up. But wanting to do what's right with the time that we have now. So where do you start? So first, what I did was I wrote this down. I wrote it in my laptop, but you can write it down on paper. You can write it down on your phone, your iPad, your computer, whatever you want to do. Write it down and start evaluating yourself. Now, here's a disclaimer, right? You ready? You will only have to be honest if you want this to work. If you want the oh shit moment, or the aha moment, you can only get that if, and only if, you're honest with yourself. Don't write things down that make you sound perfect or as if you have nothing. There's nothing wrong with your life. Everything is completely great. You're full of shit. No one's life is completely great. There's always something, whether it's small or big. There's always something that everyone is going through. So everyone's going through something. Be honest with yourself and continue this year making the necessary changes. And when I did my own evaluation, I took my own inventory. If I looked back, like just in my mind, because obviously I didn't write it down when I was younger. I mean, I think I did, but I had like a journal back in the day, but I don't know. I probably tossed that journal. I don't even know where it is. But if I were to think back to like myself at 25, at 23, hell, even 27, 29, it's like a complete difference. And I see it for myself. I don't know if my friends see it. I would have to ask them, but I see it within and seeing the necessary changes that I'm trying to constantly make. But like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes some time, and you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with your friends as they're changing. You have to be patient with your family as they're changing, and your spouse. You have to give people time to make those moves. But when I wrote it down, these are the 3 things that I did. Like how I took the inventory, right? So here we go, right? So the first thing is pick 3 areas in your life that are important to you right now at this stage in your life. So it could be your finances, like you want to get better at saving, you want to get better at paying your bills on time, you want to start investing, you want to open up another bank account for your future children that you will have later on in life, or you want to just open up an account now for your kids that you have now, or you want to get into, whatever second side hustle that you want to have. It may be that. It may be relationships. If you're single, you're ready to start dating with a purpose, right? You're not just dating just to date, but dating with an actual purpose, and finding someone who wants to do the same. Or if you're in a relationship, evaluating if the relationship is serving you the way you like it to, or Does it need some help or some spice? Like, how can you spice up your relationship? Or is it over? Is it completely done and you both are holding on to the what was and not realizing what is, right? The other part of your life could be your career. If you're at a job, you see how I said job and not career? If you're at a job that you no longer want to clock in for, that you're completely over, wanting to work for yourself, starting over with a whole new career path, wanting to start applying and being serious with applying to new jobs, or even if you are in the job that you like, shit, you may like it and this may turn into your career, leveling yourself up in the job and taking that action to get to that point, right? Or it could be building generational wealth, but you don't know how, you don't know where to start. That could mean you have to start listening and attending what's the word, seminars. I was gonna say sermons. By the way, I did go to church Sunday. I hope you guys went to church Sunday. It was good. I mean, it was a virtual church, but nonetheless, I went to church. It still counted. I get a 90% for that, not the 100. But attending seminars, and that can help you in that area, right? Educating yourself on investing and how to start building generational wealth, whether that be buying a home and flipping it and making it into a rental property, or buying some land and building property on that, or doing which I started doing too, what is it called? REITs. Maybe I'm saying it. I think it's REITs. I think that's what it is. And investing more of your money into that. But it could be anything. And then, also it could be letting go or rekindling friendships, bettering your health, healing from your past, whatever. Those 3 areas are at the top of your list. The whole idea is to not see what's wrong or bad about those 3 areas that you're choosing. We're not writing a woe is me paragraph or a guilty book. These are just 3 areas that you would like to see improvement in, like, let's say 3 to 6 months or so. Or if you want to give yourself to the end of the year, whatever works for you. So how can you change the circumstances? Like, how can you change and get these things rolling, right? So, like, picking one of those, right? Like, so for me, it was like finances. I want to get way better when it comes to financial. Like, again, I'm all the way real with y'all when it comes to me speaking on these episodes, but financial, like wanting to just be in a better spot, wanting to save more, wanting to invest more, wanting to just spend your money wisely, right? So what I did, that my brother actually told me that he did, was I deleted my DoorDash and Uber Eats app off my phone. If I tell you the amount of money I spent on Uber Eats, and I guarantee you, if any of you go into your Uber Eats app or you go into your DoorDash app and you look at the orders just from March, matter of fact, just from the beginning of the year, start from January all the way to March and just see how much money you done spent on Uber Eats. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where, like, yes, you just don't feel like cooking. You may have worked a very long shift, or you forgot to take something out of the freezer to cook it. I've done that plenty of times. And then also not wanting to overcook, because sometimes I find myself doing that too. Like, I'll cook for like 4 people and it's just like, it's just me. And then I know, like, my mommy says, oh, but you can use it for leftovers. And I'm like, Ma, I don't like leftovers. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm not a big leftover person. Sometimes I can have it, but it really depends on what it is. But otherwise, I'm not really a big leftover person. So I would normally get something off Uber Eats because it's portion right. Good, boom, I have it for tonight. I'm good. I don't need it again. But I deleted both of those apps off my phone, so I won't be tempted to order out. And rather, now I go back to meal prepping. So even today, having to cook, I cooked meals for the rest of the week, made a variety of things, and just wanting to, like, make sure that I don't I don't eat out. And even if I go to work, like me working so early in the morning, if you know me, you know I work hella early in the morning. And even then, like, I don't like to bring dinner food to work because it's too heavy, it's too early in the morning. So I'll get like a smoothie. So I'll add that within my budget. Like, okay, I'm gonna have a smoothie, or I bring a smoothie to work, which I'm gonna start doing. Bringing a smoothie to work, or just buying one thing while I'm at work, and not spending money twice within my 8-hour span of being at work. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, buying too much shit at work, knowing that the price is like ridiculous. But you know, you're writing, but the whole point is, right, you're writing down what you need to fix. Like, how can you fix your situation? You're not writing down anything negative. You're not talking about how bad you are at spending. You're not talking about how you will never get yourself out of debt. You're bringing positivity into your life. You're speaking positive about what it is you're trying to do in this situation. And again, it could be any area in your life that you want to see a change, or that you want to fix in this area, in this part of your life right now, and seeing where you can make the adjustments. And for me, the adjustment was deleting DoorDash and Uber Eats. And sometimes, like, I feel tempted to get it back, but I'm like, no. If I wanted to get something, like, I can make it. My mother taught me how to cook. My grandmother taught me how to cook, so I can cook it. Just not so much this time. So the second thing you want to do is you want to take a personality test and a love language test. And this is basically, like I said, it's like evaluating who you are now at this point. Because maybe you've taken a personality or a love language test before, but that may have been like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We change every few months. We change. I thought it was like every year we change. No, it's literally like 3 to 6 months we go through these what does the doctor call it? Like, I don't know the word, but it's like these health, or like growing I guess like growing pains, if you want to call it that, where you just shift, like your whole trajectory just shifts, and it happens within 3 to 6 months. I thought it was always a year, but apparently it's not. So you want to take a personality test and a love language test. Now, if you don't know what the love language test is, which I feel like a lot of people do know, but just in case you guys don't or never heard of it, which I find that hard to believe, but nonetheless, the 5 love languages that we all have, like, as humans: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And I know I probably talked about this in my other podcast, but those are the love languages that we all possess, or that we all like, or qualities of what we would like in a partner, and what we like our partner to show us, but also what we should give and show our partner. So if at the top of the list there's a quiz that you can actually take, and I think it's on, it's the 5lovelanguages.com, and you can actually take the quiz and you can find out what your love language is. For some people it is just physical touch, like they just need to have you touch them, like hug them, hold them, slap them on the ass, whatever. It's just some type of touch that they need, that they love. Some people, quality time, just being around them, not necessarily having to say anything, or may not have too much conversation, but just being next to them, or just spending time, like wherever you guys are going. Words of affirmation, I feel like everyone needs that. I feel like that's just one that's probably at the top of everybody's list, because I don't think that you can go or want to be with someone who doesn't tell you, like, babe, you look amazing today, or you look, like, gives you some type of compliment, like, you look good, oh, I see you've been working out, like, you're really starting to slim down, like, constantly. Oh, you may not say slim down like that. you probably would just say like, babe, you look good, or like, oh, you're looking real sexy, I like this, or you like, giving the compliment, making them blush a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, everyone, I feel like, wants that. And again, there's something wrong with it. I like words of affirmation. Like, you better tell me I look good. I don't even care if I look like a bum. Babe, you look nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. My hair is a mess. Lashes are falling off, but my skin's clear. And I'm in my house clothes, but whatever. So words of affirmation, and then acts of service. So like that could just be you pumping your girl's gas, or giving her money for gas, buying her water. It can be you, which I feel like a lot of men like when we give them like our skincare routines, and like we do it for them. They love that. I feel like they cannot, they act like they don't, but I feel like they do. Whether it be like, if you know that they're working a lot, and they need some time to just like release some tension or some stress. Hey, let's go do something that they like to do. Let's go play basketball. Let's go to a basketball game. Let's cook dinner. Let's do something. Whatever it is, but just that acts of service and doing small things can definitely help them feel better about you and about the relationship and how they see you. Oh, then I missed one, receiving gifts. Like, obviously we all like to receive a gift. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be flowers, it can be a bag, it can be shoes, it could be something creative that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, a t-shirt that reminds you of them. It doesn't matter. Paying for her nails to get done, paying for his haircut, feeding him. Like, it doesn't matter. Any type of gift. We all like to receive gifts. And if you don't, you're lying. So stop. But nonetheless, that is the 5 love languages. And I feel like that's one of the things that kind of like changed. Like, I thought, I always thought like I was just a physical touch. Like, that was on my top of my list. But no, it was actually quality time that was on the top of my list, which, again, when I took the test years ago, it was physical touch. Now it's quality time. So like, again, you change 3 to 6 months, you shift, and and some people remain the same in certain areas, but for the most part, when it comes to our thinking and what we like, it tends to change. And then the personality test. So the personality test, honestly, it was spot on. I won't say that it wasn't, but I took this test on Truity.com, Truity.com, and it's the Big 5 personality traits. Now, in order to unlock the full description of your personality at the end, after you take the test, you have to pay $29. I didn't pay $29. I just, saw the little glimpse that they gave us, but I probably will, just because I want to see the entire thing. But it's like basically a small review that they give you at the bottom, and as to who you are based off of your answers. The questions are based off of OCEAN, and that's a abbreviation for openness. I always mess up this word every time I pronounce it. Conscientiousness. Oh, there you go. Very good. Which is wishing to do one's work or duty right well and thorough. Yes, I looked at the textbook version of it. I didn't want to just say nonsense. Extroversion, meaning how talkative, energetic, assertive, or outgoing you are. Agreeableness, and neuroticism, which basically is the tendency to be anxious, depressed, having self-doubt, and other negative feelings. So for myself, when I did the test, and I think this was out of 80, so you could score, the highest was 80. My openness was a 71, which I was like, yeah. It basically says that I'm creative and imaginative, which is true. My conscientiousness was a 65, which means like I'm uninterested in dull facts of a situation and things that have to do with other people that is not positive. Which is also very true. Like, I don't base my first judgments off of people, off of whatever other people say. Like, I hear what people say and I'm just like, oh really, like that happened? But I tend to see, like, if the vibe is there first with me, and them first before I make up my own ideas, I guess. And then extroversion was 42, agreeableness was 75, and neuro was 58. So I was a little, and this is why I said maybe I'll spend the $29, because now I want to know why was my extroversion 42 and my agreeableness 75. That's high for my agreeableness. But again, I want to know, like, exactly full in detail what it is. So you guys can take the test also if you want to do the personality test, which I suggest you should do. It's on Truity.com, TRUITY.com, and it's like 5 minutes or so of you answering the question, and then you'll know certain areas, or like you'll know your personality. And although we kind of have an idea of like our personality and who we are and how like outgoing we are and how maybe introverted we are or extroverted we are, it's kind of cool to see like other little points, like I said, that you probably never thought of about yourself, and this test actually does it. So that's the second thing you would want to do when it comes to taking a lifestyle inventory, is a personality and a love language test. And the third thing that you want to do is you want to check and update your interest inventory. So while we're checking and updating our personality and our love language, you also want to check and update what you're interested in, and ask yourself the question, like, so what am I interested in? Like, what now do I find appealing, and what are you no longer interested in? Like, I don't know, for me lately, it's been a lot of feeling like I'm being pulled away from like things that I used to do, that I don't hate now, I just don't find interest in it. Like, I tweeted the other day, and while I had a good time, like I said, for my friend's birthday, and we enjoyed ourselves and we made the party fun, it's like you go after not being out for so long, and I guess this is just maybe in New York, or it could be just anywhere, but after not really going out to the lounges in a long time, or not really being in like the crowds anymore, like how we used to be in like our early 20s and so on, or like our early teenage years, it's so boring. Like, people now are boring, and I only say that because, so we were sitting in an area where we basically could look at the entire crowd. Like, our section was like just the crowd, we saw them. And for one thing, and the crazy thing, I had this whole conversation with all my friends then that night that when we went out, and we all agreed to it as well. Like, that whole night, it was nothing but a sausage fest. Now, cool, that's fine, no problem. There were a few girls there, which was cool as well. But when I say, like, the men's in them are really like outside. Like, these men are really outside partying in the club, smoking, got the drip on, everything. And then also want to say the next day that there's no good woman out there. But you're not going to find good women in the club, sir. And I only say this because I saw a video of a guy on TikTok saying that, where are all the wholesome women at? And a guy said, all the wholesome women are in TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls. Yes, we are, because that's where we love to be at. We like, sprucing up our homes, and even if we don't buy anything, we're just like browsing around and enjoying ourselves. We're at Starbucks, we're at Dunkin' Donuts. Well, maybe not everybody's at Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I take that back, because some people gonna be like, whoa, Dunkin'. I said what I said. Anyway, we're just not in the club, right? So even being there, and it was a lounge. It wasn't, Made in Mexico is more of a lounge. I don't say it's a club. It's more of a lounge because it's a restaurant and it turns into a lounge. But it was definitely just interesting to see how many guys were there, how many people were really like putting on a show to show everybody else that I just bought 6 bottles to the section. Like, just certain things, like I said, just not interested in anymore. Like, it's cute to go out maybe here and there. It's cute to just be around once or twice, but no one parties now. No one really has, no one dances. No one really enjoys themselves. Everybody's on their phone, or they're just standing there. And then the DJ. Let's talk about the DJ. The DJ, sir, had one job. And when I could tell you, it was hilarious how we were looking at each other like, this man's not serious. Like, whenever he would play a good 5 minutes of our music, like the music that would get the party going and people was actually dancing, we was enjoying it. We was up. Other times, we're just sitting around cracking jokes and whatever. Like I said, it was still a good time. Like, I'm not saying that we didn't have a good time, but just assessing like why you don't go out and why things have changed, like how much being out in the clubs have changed compared to when 22, at 22, at 23, when people were actually still dancing, people were actually still having a good time. Now it's like you don't see that often. Everyone's just standing around and doing nothing. But like I said, having that feeling of being pulled out of that, like not wanting to do it anymore, and not necessarily being in the club, but just anything in your life really that you feel like God could be pulling you out of. God could be pulling you away from it. Like, I don't want you doing that, and this isn't serving you, and it's not going to do nothing for you. So I need you to get out of that. And really seeing like, nah, he's helping me with something that I truly have a hard time letting go of, but I want to let it go. And that's one thing that you can assess of being drawn away from things that you used to do, that you used to have so much fun doing, that you no longer want to do now. Another part is, who are you interested in? And it doesn't have to be romantically. It could be your friends. It could be your family. And basically asking yourself, like, are they in the same space as you? Do they have the same interests as you? Are you, are they moving with you? Or are they holding you back from where you're supposed to be at and what you're supposed to be doing? And I feel like that can be hard to check that inventory list, because a lot of people hold on to the years, right? People hold on to the what was. Like, oh, we used to be so close, or if it's romantic and if it has something to do with a boyfriend, girlfriend, even your husband or your wife, I guess. It's like how everything was in the beginning and how now, as you're looking at it, it's not the same. And although you would love it to be the same, although you would love for you to go back and have, that type of, I guess, I want to say freedom, or that type of relationship with them, it's not there anymore. So you're going to have to let it go, and you're going to have to move on and move forward, or open to having the conversation and seeing if the both of you can rekindle what was and move from there. That's also helpful. To to see like if, and that's also helping you to see if they're interested in exactly what you want to do. So if you come to them and say, listen, I've been feeling lately like we're not as close as we used to, or we don't do the same things that we once did. And if their response is, yeah, I feel the same, like, so how do we fix it? How do we change it? Then the both of you can come to an agreement as to how you're going to go about fixing whatever the problem is, and moving in a positive way, rather than feeling stuck, and rather than feeling down about where your relationship is and the status of, your friendship. So that definitely helps, seeing if, they're willing to work it out and willing to change it. And you probably will get, some flack for it. Some people, I've heard some people say, like, some friends and even like their partners would, come at them on some, oh, so you think you're better than me, or you think that because you have X, Y, and Z going on that you can just walk away, or you don't have to be around me. And it's just like, well, no, I don't think I'm better than you. I just see myself going on a path that you're just not ready for. And of course, I'm going to bring it back to church, because Isaiah 43:18-19 says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And that's obviously God making a way for us to move on with our life and to get out of our old ways. And sometimes God will do that when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your family, that they're not serving you any help. They're not serving you no purpose. And I'm trying to push you in the direction that I need you to go in, but I need you to leave these people alone, or I need you to leave this person alone, because they don't want the same things that you want. And although, yes, you have history, never forget the good times, but you have to move on, because if not, you're going to be in the same spot you were this year, next year. And I don't want you to do that. And again, it's been happening with me, and the hardest thing is letting go and surrendering. But I feel like if we all do that in our own time, and we all just say, you know what, I'm going to do what God is telling me to do, and perceiving it in a different way than me feeling like, feeling bad for it. Because I know sometimes, like, you'll feel bad for having to leave your family behind, or having to leave friends behind, or that, leaving that boyfriend or that girlfriend behind, because it's like they've been with you through everything. But some situations, not all. So don't go saying, oh, well, you said all the situation. No, I didn't say that. I'm saying some situations are like that, where you really have to move on from what was and go to and pay attention to what is, and letting God talk you through it, letting the Holy Spirit talk you through it, and moving you in that direction. Again, it's hard. It is very hard. I be having to catch myself like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't be doing that, or I need to move in this direction, or I need to be, I need to promote. Like, it could literally be anything. I don't need to be talking to this person anymore. I don't need to be, giving this person all my attention, or I don't need to focus on what this one's doing. I need to just be doing what I'm doing. And a lot of this can even also come from social media, like constantly paying attention to the people who you follow, and that doing detrimental work, I guess, to your mind, and changing up who it is you follow. I've seen people have deleted their Instagram a million times. I'm like, why are you constantly keep deleting your Instagram? And they come back and they have a whole new following. They don't want to follow the same people that they used to, because they were bad influences. They don't want to watch the same things that they used to watch on TV, because it was a bad influence. Like, it just made, like, it's like you feed your mind and you feed your brain and your soul with the people who you talk to, who you keep around, who what you watch on TV, what you listen to. I'm not saying you can't have your moments of ratchetness. I'm not saying that. But you have to think about how many times do you really listen to it or watch it. Is that something that you literally watch every single day? Or you have to watch or you have to listen to that? Like, you don't have like not one moment of just wanting peace and quiet and listening to something other than what you're normally used to listening to. So that's one thing that you should do, just having an assessment of who are you interested in. And again, it doesn't have to be romantically. And if it is romantically, maybe that person is just not for you, and maybe that person is just not who you're supposed to be with, and it's okay. It's hard, obviously, but if both of your paths don't align, you do have to unfortunately move on and go your separate ways. And I think I've said this earlier, but taking a social media break to find the real answers. I was going to go on a social media hiatus until I said, you know what? I'm going to start my podcast, because I've always been saying that I wanted to start one. But I was really going to go on like a hiatus for a while. And I know some friends who are actually still on their hiatus, and they've been doing pretty good. I think my brother did like 6 months away from social media, and he said it was very refreshing. He said he felt better. And other friends who have done the same, who have done that, have also said the same thing, that they feel better, that they feel more grounded, that they have an idea of their purpose and what they're supposed to be doing. And I feel like everybody needs that, whether that be you deactivate it, whether that means you delete it and come back with a whole new following, whatever it may be, it's perfectly fine. I've constantly have been thinking like I want to do that so badly. Like, I just want to take a break from social media and just not see anyone's stories, anybody's updates, like especially with so much going on in this world right now. It's just like it's too much. So I feel like that can be good as far as the interests that and what you're interested in, and really getting to know what you're interested in outside of social media, because social media is obviously an influential platform, and it's going to show you the things that obviously you like and what you don't like. But sometimes it can clog your mind with thinking that you want something when you really don't, thinking that you want a particular lifestyle and you really don't, or not knowing what comes with it. You know what I mean? Like assuming that everything is what you see. And that's the thing about social media too. People just post what they want you to see. They don't show the bad. They don't get real about how they got to where they are now. They only show you all the good things that they're doing and what they've done. But they're never going to show you the bad parts of everything. So going on a hiatus, not just from Instagram, it could be from TikTok as well. It could be from Facebook. It can be from Twitter. It could be from all of it. And everybody needs to do that. I feel like that's something that, especially you could do it from like now until the summertime, because I know the summertime is on its way. It's coming. I'm excited just the same. But also don't fall back into the ways of your past, because you're going to be around a lot of, again, influential people, a lot of peer pressure, and a lot of things may not sit right with you. And it's okay if, you feel awkward or you don't feel comfortable in this space anymore. So remove yourself from the space and find other things for you to do. There's a bunch of things for you to do throughout the summer. Look up, like, I think there's like a website too. I think maybe Time magazine has something, or not magazine, Times, the newspaper, the New York Times. Oh my God, the New York Times. I think they have something where they put out what is actually going on in the summertime and like things to look out for. So you can do that. There's also this app, I think it's an app called Meetup, and you can find other people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in. And so let's say like you're into art, right? And they'll show you like groups that are going to meet up in the city to go to the art museums, and then from there you go to dinner or lunch or whatever, and you just talk and interact with people who have the same interests as you. If you're into music and you want to learn how to DJ, you can do that as well. If you really just want to be grounded in your culture, especially for us Black folks, our holiday is approaching, Juneteenth, and wanting to do other things outside of, going to a party. You may want to do something completely different. But then also finding and researching that as well. Or even if you have that, your small group of friends, having a plan as to what it is you guys want to do, which you guys should also get my summer planner. It is doing very well. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be posted. I'm going to post it on my Instagram or on the Drinks After Work podcast Instagram. And it's a planner that you can start planning things out, like how you want to go about your summer. What do you guys want to do? Obviously, there's going to be times of like sporadic things, like spontaneous things. I mean, you could sporadic too, but spontaneous things that you're going to be doing in the summertime, like obviously going out to get some drinks after work or whatever. But if you really want to start planning now, like with your friends, I put together a whole planner that helps you get like the ideas, the costs, when, where, and that way it's all set up. And granted, obviously we have our phones, we can put in our calendar, but how many times do we really pay attention to our calendar in our phones? I barely pay attention to it. If I don't put on the alert, I forget that the thing is even on there. But that's another way for you to check your interest inventory, is to really assess, like, have a planner. And again, you can get my summer planner, and I also have a planner and a journal for men and a planner and a journal for women as well. And that can also help with your interests, what you would like to do, how you would like to go about your summer. And obviously for the rest of the year, it doesn't necessarily have to be the summer. It could be at any given time, but having a planner definitely helps. I know for me, it definitely helped. And also know that like taking this, lifestyle inventory it's an eye opener. Like just really being open and honest. Again, you have to be open and honest about what it is you want and what it is you're really interested in. Don't do or say things that sound good. Like just be honest about what it is you really like to do and what it is you no longer want to be around or want to do, or how you want to change your circle, or how you want to change your perspective on your life, and how you want to move about the rest of the year, and like I said, the rest of your life. So take the time to do I thought I almost dropped this thing, but take the time to really assess and really write things down. It could be like I said, it can be on paper, it could be in your phone, it could be on your laptop, wherever, and really just do those 3 things. And again, like when I did it, it was really an eye-opener, and I was just like, wow. The changes are not drastic, but I mean drastic in a sense if you look back from me being 32 now to 23. Obviously, that's a whole 10-year change, but even just from what I was interested in last year or the year before that, and compared to what I'm interested in now, how I want to move about my life now compared to how I was moving about it before. So definitely do it. I recommend it. 10 out of 10. And I love you guys for listening. Thank you guys. I made it. I said I was going to only make this episode way less than an hour, but it ended up being an hour anyway because of my voice. So I'm going to fix this and get it back to normal. And I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys get to enjoy your family, get to enjoy some good dinner. Hopefully you guys did not use your Uber Eats and ordered food, but if you did, it's okay. We'll start again tomorrow. It's fine. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. And if you're driving, be safe if you're listening to this. And again, guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you guys later.